Okay, so now all we need to do is transform this into an identity matrix, the coefficient matrix. And so I started right below that. It's the augmented matrix, and so let me go ahead and explain a little bit. There we go. Okay, at the first part, what you see here is that my goal is to get this. Well, the one's already there. A zero is already there. So, I mean, a lot of it's already, well, that's the only part that's done, but still, it's parts of it I don't have to do. So, I have to make this 2 a 0, this 5 a 0, this a 1, that a 0, that a 0, that a 0, and then that being a 1. So, that's what we do in our transformation. So, if I multiply -2 times this row, the top row here, and add it, linear combine, that's the third rule there, okay, -2 plus +2 will give me a 0. So that's how we transform it. But I have to do a -2 plus a +5 gives me a 3, so and so on. And so that's basically how it works, and this is what I come up with right here. I got a 0 right here, a 0, a 3, a -3, a 15. Well, that looks like it's a multiple of something. If I divide that by 3 all the way across, I'll have 1, -1, 5. And so that's exactly what I did, is I multiplied it by its reciprocal, and then I end up with this. I got 0, 1, -1, 5 on the bottom. Now, remember the other rules, I could switch rows. So I'm going to switch the third and second row, and so then I will have my 1. And so that's exactly what I did. So now I have my 1, 0, 0, and I have my 1. Now with this 1, it's called the pivot, and I'm going to be able to zero that out with this pivot and zero the 2 out with that by simply multiplying a -2 times that 1 there, and a -1 by this 1 here would be a -1 plus 1, that would give me a 0, and then a -2 plus 2 would give me a 0. And that's exactly what I did. And then let me go ahead and move this up a little bit. Okay, so I zeroed this out here, and so I got my new equation there. And so now I have 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. So now I have to do is just take care of this column, and I'm in, well, I'm living the good life here. So what I got, 7 and a 14. What if I just divide that by 7 and, you know, both of those sides by 7, and I'd end up with a 1 and a -2, right? And that's exactly what I did. 1/7 times the third row. And so here I go. I got my 0, 0, 1. I got my diagonal 1, and I got a -2. Now all I have to do is get rid of that -1 and the 2. If I add this row here to this row, obviously 1 minus 1 gives me my 0. And then if I multiply this by a -2, I will get a -2 plus 2 would be 0, and then -2 times a -2 is a +4 plus 1 will give me a 5. And so that's exactly what I did here. I just explained it right here. And so I got my identity matrix. And then here is what's called the solution matrix. And so I have now transformed the coefficient matrix to the identity matrix. Yay! And so the solution set is, the solution set matrix is 5, 3, -2. And if I do plug it into the existing, we go back to the original linear system of equation. If I just plug in these solutions right here, 5 with x, 3 with y, -2 with z, 5 plus 3 minus 2 gives me 6, and that's what that was. So, life is good.